help women elevate by owning our crown in identity, creativity, and power to build fulfilling lifestyles through passions. Excuse me, sorry. We uplift our mind, body, and soul. So that's like the vision that we have and what we're doing as a sisterhood. So every single day when we go out, this is what we're looking to do. And this is why we really want to enroll you in our sisterhood. So like I said before, my name is Jenny. I've been around this space for 3 years, and it's crazy because when I came in, I didn't know who I was. I was lost, I was broken, I was depressed, and I was just hurting. And I was looking for someone to help me, but I didn't know what that looked like. So when I came in, I met my queen leader, Amanda, and I was super skeptical to get on any type of nutrition plan with her, but I just said, why not? I've tried a bunch of other stuff. Why not just try it? And I'm so happy that I did because I'm down 24 pounds from a size 16 to a size 9. And I share the pant size with you guys because the scale is a liar, and I want you guys to all know that. So don't let the scale define you. But what's really amazing is how through this journey and through this sisterhood in the last 3 years, I've really gotten to work on our topic for tonight, which is communication and healthy boundaries. And something I really had to work through was saying no to people and being okay with it. I was a yes person. I would always say, yes, I'll do this. Yes, I'll do this. When deep down inside, I didn't want to do it, but I felt like I needed to do it. So really learning healthy boundaries and speaking up for myself and saying, you know what, I don't want to do that. So I don't have to commit myself to doing that when it's not going to serve me or my energy. That has been a huge shift for me. And something else that's been really cool is helping teach other women how to have those healthy boundaries and how to communicate. I was actually able through this sisterhood to build a side hustle. And that helps me pay different parts of my bills, but it also fulfills me because I get to help other women go through and transform the way that I have. And it's really cool for me having this side hustle because I'm here in Wisconsin right now visiting my family. And all I need is a Wi-Fi connection to be in contact with you guys and to be building my business, which is so incredible. So I'm so excited for you guys to really just be a part of our sisterhood. So in RAIN, we have a commitment and declaration statement that we go over. And what this is it tells you that you're safe here. This is your safe space. Anything that you say here, no one's gonna go out on the streets and start talking about you. So I'm also a teacher, so this is like our pinky promise. And you know, with like third graders, you can't break a pinky promise. That is like, that doesn't happen. So this is our pinky promise. So when we get to the blank, I want you guys to say your name. You can stay muted, but say your name when we get to the blank. And I can see your beautiful faces on video chat, so I'm gonna know if you say it or not. So as a woman of RAIN, I, Jenny, pledge to strive for excellence in my pursuits to be a strong and loving woman. I will fight to be better in all aspects of my life with the help and support from the RAIN family. I will be responsible to the tasks that I commit to within RAIN and let my integrity show through my actions. I understand that change starts from within. I commit to proper nutrition and fitness for the health and wellness of my body. As I look in the mirror to humble myself, I will become a better support to others and always have their best interests at heart. I commit to the confidentiality of RAIN and understand that the information I learn from my involvement will stay within our group. I will walk in the name of love to the best of my ability. If you agree, let me see those pinky promises. Hey, love all those pinkies. So ladies, I'm so excited to be on this call with you tonight. This topic is literally something that has affected me and changed me so much. And I'm so grateful that I was introduced to this beautiful queen 3 years ago. I cannot tell you all of the ways in which she has changed my life. She's helped me to lose the weight. She's helped me to love myself. She's helped me to have an amazing relationship with God that I literally would not replace for anything in the world. She holds for me. She calls me out of my ish when I need to be checked on things. And she's just so incredible. So I'm so excited for you guys to hear from her. Everybody get up for Amanda Marshall.
Yay! Thank you so much, Jenny. I appreciate you. And welcome, Queens. So excited to have you guys on this call tonight. You know, we are a sisterhood who grows authentically. The thing that I love the most about the hearts of the women that are on this call is that we're really about growing ourselves first and not doing it in a fake way. And that's something that's really benefited Jenny and I as we've grown our relationship. She accepts me for who I am. She loves me for who I am. But then she also calls me forth to be better, just like I do her. And I'm just so grateful for the edification. But as you were saying that, it's like, so many times in the past, I had relationships where I felt like I was holding a space and they weren't necessarily holding the same space for me. I don't know if you've ever been there where you feel like, oh, you're always there for them, but that nobody's there for you, you know, or maybe vice versa. They're always there for you, but you're not there for them. And I think that's one of the most powerful things about the sisters here, and Jenny also specifically, is that we definitely hold for each other in a new way. So my name is Amanda. I am a wife. I'm a mother, bonus mom. I am also a sister, a daughter, a woman of God. In some way, shape, or form, I'm just like you. Right? In some way, shape, or form. We're all different and we all embrace our differences, but at the end of the day, we're women. We're women in this world, striving to become more, striving to grow. I didn't realize the power of nutrition and fitness. At one time in my life, I, really just thought that I could have a positive mindset and that was going to be enough. But I soon realized that really putting those things into action mattered. And so I took on nutrition and fitness about 7 years ago now, and really started taking care of my body. I've been able to drop 23 pounds, put on 27 pounds of healthy weight. And although I absolutely am proud of my results, I can tell you that it's done more for me than the physical transformation. It's really helped me be a woman of my word, to have the energy to keep my word, and just to know and have the confidence of knowing that I can take care of my body and I can be in partnership with me. I can be in partnership with the way I feel. I can choose to love myself in a way that, I work out because I love my body, not because I hate my body. It's like a come from, right? Like, where do you come from with your connection to yourself? And this has really taught me the self-love journey and taking care of you. And then also really growing with other women. A little backstory about me. I personally wasn't somebody who ever really liked women. I'll be straight up honest. Like, I didn't have a good relationship with women when I was growing up, and I didn't trust women. I felt like they were fake and just, I had all kinds of negative thoughts about women. But I also soon learned that it was just the enemy's way of keeping me from my greatness, because there is so much power in our unity. There's power when we edify each other. There's power when we can come together effectively to uplift one another. And then also in clarity that there's an abundant mindset that we can all take on, that there's enough room at the top for all of us to slay. Like, we can all have our success, and that one of us getting up doesn't mean that we have to stand on top of others. And I think that that's one of the most powerful revelations I have had with women. And in that, I've tapped into a new power. So welcome to Reign. So excited for tonight's awesome topic. We're going to be talking first off about communication. How is communication impacting your life? It's absolutely impacting you either in a positive way or a negative way. And so it's very important that we're really taking this thing on from a space of knowing that it's about elevating. Communication is important for your job. It's important for your relationships at home, with your family, with your significant other, with your coworkers, with the person at the grocery store. I mean, there's so many things that our communication impacts. But there are also so many things that have impacted our communication. A lot of times it's things in life that have happened that have made us shut down. Maybe it's when you were younger, you didn't feel that you necessarily were able to speak because your parents or, people you're around were constantly telling you to be quiet. So therefore you lost the ownership of your voice. You didn't feel that your voice mattered. And because of that, people do shut down because they feel misunderstood. They feel like they're not worthy of speaking, whatever it might be. And it's not just words, though. We're talking about effective communication to actually share how we're feeling, share what's going on in our life, to have that perspective shift that'll allow us to grow. And there's so many things that really we're benefiting when we do have effective communication. And some of those are, it opens up your heart to forgiveness. How is your communication impacting your life? Going back to the first point, it's like, this is impacting us based on how we forgive. I found that in talking about things and not covering them up, I've been able to expose things that I didn't know were there. So communication will bring out this ability to see people for what they are, and it removes the assumptions that sometimes we create. And in our lack of communication and our willingness to effectively communicate, We don't realize that it's actually creating a false illusion of what's going on in our lives. When we're able to sit down with the person that may have hurt us and we get to hear their side of their story and not to respond, but to actually hear and understand and put ourselves in their perspective, it just opens up a different way of seeing things. But first, are we being honest? Are we opening up communication from a space that's genuine? Because I know that there's been times in my past where I've been able to communicate, but I was communicating from an ego side. I was communicating from a hurt place. I was communicating from an angry place. And just as much as our words can actually heal, help, and uplift something, they can kill, destroy, and just completely take a situation to way worse. I don't know if you ever have opened your mouth and made the situation worse than it was before you opened your mouth. But then there's also an impact with our silence. And I think there's power in a woman when she knows the power of her words and the power of her silence. Communication is in more forms than just speaking. It's in your body language. It's in your energy. It's in the way that you're showing up towards someone. So how is your communication impacting others? We say we want powerful, successful relationships, but I absolutely know for sure this is one of the top key pieces to really creating an awesome space for us to have a healthy relationship. And it really starts with you. Because if you're not keeping it real with you, if you're not communicating with yourself, if you're not actually clear on what you're seeking, it's really hard to then express that to another person. And so I want you to take a moment to really just think about, how do you communicate? How are people receiving you? Are they receiving you through a good, healthy space, or are you somebody who assumes? Are you somebody who constantly judges? Do you come from a space of love, or do you come from a space of hate? And I know that there's not really anybody that's gonna be like, oh, I'm hateful, I come from a space of hate. But if you're not coming from a space of love, then the opposite of love is not anything beautiful. I can tell you that. So if we're not coming from a space of love, then what space are we coming from? And how have the wounds from the past impacted the way that you now communicate? There's effective ways to communicate, and we could talk about that. We could talk about different, the factual ways of being and getting your point across and being able to be very direct and all of that. But none of it matters until you're clear on what your intention is with communication. There is so many times in my relationships in the past that me feeling like it didn't matter and holding my tongue from bringing it up only created more and more buildup. One thing that I've learned is that unless we're willing to deal with issues right there, we allow things to build up so much that there's so many issues that we really don't know what the deep root is. And so the small things are actually what we fix our mind on and what we're bothered by, but really it has nothing to do with that. But it's because we failed to communicate all of the other times in the things that have bothered us. One of the really, really huge pieces to my relationship now, as I'm married, is effective communication immediately. And of course, we give each other our healthy boundaries, which is what we're going to go into here in a minute. But at the end of the day, knowing that we have healthy boundaries so that we can sit, pause, sort of take a moment to think about things so that we can effectively communicate, not through our emotions, but through what we actually need to say. There's that, but we don't want to let anything linger. We don't want to plant any seeds that can sprout later in our marriage that we just not want to nip it in the bud now. And it's something that our pastor in our marriage counseling really talked to us about. So how are you taking care of the little negative seeds in your life? Do you take a moment to actually think through things and come to somebody with a humble heart, letting go of your ego and letting go of your pride and having a real conversation? Communication is so important. How is your tone? We have been doing some really awesome marriage sessions with people who are married, me and my husband, and one of the highest topics of conversation is tone. It's not about what they said, it's about how they said it. This is something that I'm learning within myself because my tone has been what my tone is for 33 years. And now I can't say just now in this season I'm being aware of that, but I'm more aware of it now because I can't see myself. I really didn't know how, in a situation I was in was when I was bothered and I don't see anything. I'm bothered, I'm irritated, I'm in this irritating energy. And then I'm in a situation where somebody's asking of me of something that's completely outside of me. So let's say work. You have something going on at home. You're stressed out from home, and then you're at work and the girl from in your office is like, hey girl, you got a pen? And you like, what? Like, what? Do you want a pen? Here's the pen, girl. Leave me alone. Unbothered energy. I don't want to be bothered. Has anybody ever felt that way? You don't want to be bothered. You don't want people in your space. Just leave me alone. Kind of leave me alone. Like, I'm good off you, right? And I realized that I carried that energy with me. I didn't want to be bothered. I didn't like to be inconvenienced. I didn't like people to interrupt my thought process that I was having with myself. How selfish. I also didn't realize that there was actually an energy that people were receiving from me that had nothing to do with them, but they started receiving this communication from me that made me look stuck up, too good, irritated. She must not like me. She has a strong demeanor, weird energy. It really took me asking people that I loved and really being open to the feedback. This is the hardest part. Being open to the feedback of your friends and family, like, how do you receive my communication? Your communication is linked to your pain, and let me tell you how. Sometimes we don't realize the walls that we've put up to guard ourselves and what that's created our habits to be. So here's one that I love to use because it's very applicable, right? So my mom and me, we didn't necessarily have the best relationship growing up. There was a point in time where we really couldn't stand each other. Let's keep it real, right? God has been great and allowed us to restore. Love my mama. We are strong today, right? It's so amazing to see how far we've come. However, because of some of the hurt and the pain and the toxic stuff I've been through, the domestic, just ugly violence, like all of that stuff as a child, things, domestic violence, going through drama, just being in toxic stuff with my mom, it created a way of me being towards my mom. And I realized that I was treating my mom some kind of way, even after we did the work to forgive each other, to talk through things and to grow together as women. And my mom has her story, right, with me and the way I was towards her. So we both equally had work to forgive one another. We did that work in forgiveness and we worked on healing, and we have such a powerful, beautiful relationship now. But I realized that my habits towards my mom didn't necessarily change, and I was unaware of that. I realized that my mom would call me and I had this very much like, what's up? What do you want? Okay, cool. Like, I didn't say, what do you want? But I had an energy towards like, what are you calling me for? And it was because at one point in my life, I was also the fixer. So I was constantly the person that everybody called when they had chaos in their life. And I was the one that kind of was like the happy medium person that kind of mentored and got everybody to be like on one level. Like, hey, your brother's tripping. Hey, I need you to call this person. I need you to take care of this. And so I was constantly that person that was meeting the need to rescue things in my family's life. And it wasn't my mom specifically, but my mom trusted me with people in our family to be the one to be able to talk to my brother and calm people down and to be that level-headed person. But what I found it created in me was every time the phone rang, I started to feel like there was going to be a problem, because I'm used to every time my phone ringing from one of my family members that they need something from me. So my energy towards them was this like, what's up? What's the problem now? And I didn't realize it. I had to actually take a step back and even just talk to my mom, like, let's call each other when there's not anything going on. It's kind of weird. I called my mom the other day and I was just like, what's up? And I didn't have a reason. And she was like, that's kind of strange. But it's important that we do that, because then now my energy, I have to intentionally shift my energy. I was just wired a certain kind of way for so many years that I didn't realize I was doing this to my mom, and that's unfair to her. If I tell her I forgive her and I love her, what are my actions towards the change? How is my communication now shifting? Say you're in a relationship right now and you guys went through a devastating situation where you chose forgiveness. Maybe your man cheated on you and you chose forgiveness. Well, you get to extend the action of forgiveness through your communication and through your energy towards him. It's not fair to tell somebody we forgive them and we're going to go ahead and move on. I get it's not easy, ladies, but it's just not fair that we're like, okay, we talked about this. We said we're going to stay together. I'm choosing to stay with you after I know this happened. But you're going to just, you don't deserve my good communication and energy now. Like, we're just going to both be miserable. Like, what kind of life is that? Let's be powerful people. If you're choosing to forgive, heal to the point to where you can shift your action towards that thing. It's so important. And then how do we create healthy boundaries with our communication? How can we continuously build powerful connections of choosing to be connected? The difference between somebody who chooses to be connected and chooses to be disconnected is all yours. So in a relationship, we can be together, but it doesn't mean we're connected. I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where both y'all together and you're staying together, but you're both on your phone. You're numbing. You don't want to talk. You're irritated with each other. You're watching TV. You shift your energy to disconnect from them, and you put yourself in a bubble. It may be able to work in a relationship, but it's not going to, in a relationship outside of being married. But if you're stepping into marriage, if you look down the road to marriage, if you're engaged, we don't get to disconnect like that anymore. You can, but not if you want to have a powerful marriage that's going to consistently elevate you. It's going to take some stretching. Some people think that once you get to marriage, it's the promised land and it's all good. No, baby girl, it's going to split you right open. It's going to expose things down on the inside of you that you didn't even know were there. It's going to make you stretch in a new way that you never knew was possible. And I'm speaking from experience. I'm very happy. I'm in love. I wouldn't change it for the world, but I can tell you that this is a season that's calling from my life. It's a demand, a new demand inside of my life that I didn't know existed, but I prayed for it, but I asked God for it. I had to set healthy boundaries in place to be able to take this thing on. And what are healthy boundaries? Healthy boundaries are, I feel like, just ways to love yourself. How are you loving yourself? There's standards. How is what you accept impacting you? Here's the quote. I allow myself to set healthy boundaries. I allow myself to set healthy boundaries. Why are healthy boundaries so hard? To say no to what does not align with my values and to say yes to what does. Boundaries assist me to remain healthy, honest, and living a life that is true to me. So let's really talk about it. Healthy boundaries are something that's another level of loving you, taking care of you effectively. Now, the reason why so many people have a hard time with healthy boundaries is because it's the thought process that I have to be mean to somebody in order to set this boundary. I have to have this way of showing up to tell my family no. Jenny talked about it in the beginning. Like, what does it mean to say no? Now, I can tell you it's all about your heart. It's all about your intention. You can say no and you can say yes with an ugly heart, and both intentions you'll feel them. A lot of times people are unable to set healthy boundaries because they're operating from a selfish place. How is that even possible? People who set healthy boundaries are selfish, right? That's the thought process. But no, it's actually really hard to set a healthy boundary. Setting a healthy boundary is linked to your communication because it's how we do it. But it's very important that we realize that healthy boundaries are necessary for your peace. It's necessary to take care of you. And you can say yes. Say if your kid is bothering you, right? They keep asking for something. You don't want them to get the candy, but you definitely don't want to deal with their attitude. You're irritated by them. So you say yes, that they can have the candy just because you don't want to deal with them. That doesn't mean that you're being nice. That means that you're operating from a selfish place. You don't want to feel the uncomfortable feeling that it takes to say no. Some of us don't want to set the healthy boundary because we don't like what we think's going to happen if we say no. If you tell that man that you don't want to sleep with him anymore at 3 a.m., well, is he going to like you anymore? Is he going to pay attention to you anymore? So instead of creating a healthy boundary, instead of feeling the uncomfortable feeling of setting the boundary, we'd rather just stay in the familiar zone and say yes because we know what to expect. Healthy boundaries are hard to set because people are unwilling to feel uncomfortable about what may come because of them. But you need to be able to be willing to be uncomfortable enough to protect your peace, protect your energy, protect your happiness. That should be more important than staying the same and not being happy, not being peaceful, not being in a space that's going to allow you to grow and develop yourself. Healthy boundaries are essential for our growth, ladies, and they're hard and they're uncomfortable. I get it. It's not easy, but you can't keep complaining about the same thing that you allow. It's a trade-off. Is your happiness and peace more important than you being with that man for one night because he gives you the temporary satisfaction, but you know when he leaves, you're not happy anymore? Is you being the person that takes care of everyone and holds everybody's burdens and takes care of your kids and your sister and your brother and your aunt and your uncle, and you're the one holding for them, you're the one giving them money, you're the one allowing the boundaries to not be there? Is that space of hurt and pain and anxiety and frustration that comes from that worth it? It's a trade-off. Either you get to create, well, if I don't help my sister, she's not going to come see me anymore. If I don't help my brother, then he's going to be mad at me. There's a healthy boundary. There's a really ugly manipulation that people will use against us if we aren't willing to set the boundary and take whatever comes with it. It's hard, but it's necessary for our peace. It's necessary for our next level of healthy building relationships to be a powerful person that pursues connection. You can say no with love. If your kid asks you if they can touch a hot pan, you're going to say no because you love them, not because you're being mean. And that's the same come from that you need to set your boundaries with. That space of love, that good energy of, why am I saying no? Why am I not going to lend you any more money, auntie? Because if I keep lending you money, I'm going to enable you to not hold for yourself. And I don't want to see you fall, but sometimes seeing somebody fall is the only way they're going to truly be able to stand up on their own. So it serves them because you're enabling people to consistently be whatever they want to be towards you and eat off of you like leech. Until you say no, you protect your peace and you serve them to protect their own. Healthy boundaries are necessary for a healthy life. And it's a trade-off. There are things in my life that I am not willing to negotiate about. My husband's happiness will come before anyone else's. If somebody doesn't agree, they don't like it, I'm not hanging out anymore. Like, I'm still here to be a great friend, but this is the new version of my life. And my prayer was to be connected to a powerful man. And now I get to uphold that integrity to ensure that I have powerful connections with people around me that I choose. But my husband's happiness and my attention and my extra energy will always be to him first, because, well, actually my first energy gets to be serving him, not my last energy. And if I try to meet the needs of all the people in my life, then, and it's hard when you get married, people are like, oh, now she ain't here no more. Now she ain't hanging out anymore. Family members may not like it. People don't like that shift. However, I prayed for this man. They weren't there with me in the middle of the night when I was on the floor crying, trying to ask God to help heal me from the pain that I had inside so that I could be the woman he created me for, that I could be the wife he created me for, that I could be the mother he created me for. So when he gave me the gift, I have a responsibility to protect that thing, to make sure that my healthy boundaries don't leak into my marriage, because this is what I prayed for. I'm going to be faithful over the thing that I asked God for. How are you taking care of what God gave you, sis? How are you taking care of the man you prayed for, the children you prayed for? And how are you holding for them to hold for themselves? Don't allow manipulation to prevent you from stepping into your greatness. Sometimes it's hard to say no, but if you want a healthy life, it's necessary. Thank you guys so much for joining. We're going to have our first incredible queen to go ahead and speak tonight. She is such an amazing woman. I'm grateful that I've been able to meet her, to get to know her. We have so many things coming from Reign, so I want you to continue to plug in. We can go in so deep into this message, but I definitely want to make sure that I respect your time tonight. So make sure you plug into Reign so you can get more meat from building healthy boundaries, having powerful communication, pursuing connection. And this woman does that so well. From the moment I met her, I saw that she had healthy boundaries. I saw that she knew how to effectively communicate honestly. She's been vulnerable with me. She's definitely continuing to step into her power to elevate, and she's growing so much from the sisterhood. So please give it up for our incredible sister, Ria. Go ahead and unmute yourself, girl.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Queens. I'm so excited.
Ria.
Ria, you're muted.
Hey, sorry. Hey, Queens. I was like, dang. Okay. Hey, Queens. I'm Ria. For those who don't know me, I lost 24 pounds and 7% body fat. Pretty excited about that. The physical transformation, as you can see in the picture, is a blessing. But to be honest, the work that I've done with my sisters on the inside is what is priceless for me. I have developed accountability for myself. I've developed so many skill sets that has now been a blessing in all areas of life. I have opportunities that are knocking on my doors that's never been before, all because I chose to say yes to myself. Through self-reflection, self-awareness, and doing the work of dissecting the person in the mirror, I have definitely evolved into a better person, but I didn't do this on my own. In the last 6 months, I came into Reign and I literally never left. I was looking for a change, and this was it. As soon as I came in to Reign and realized that I am now aligning myself with people who are going the right direction and the people who are elevating one another on a regular basis, has not only made me a better woman, but it's made people around me want to do better. So I just want to keep it short. I just want to let you guys know that the person that you are in a battle with is yourself. You create your own life. You create your own destiny. You just have to look in the mirror and say yes to yourself. And hopefully one day you'll be up here sharing your testimony and reintroducing yourself like I am today. Thank you so much, every single person that's been a part of Reign. And I'm looking for more queens to join us in order to become better together. Thank you.
Yes, honey. Yo, Ria, just to let y'all in on a little secret, she's the plug for all of my jokes. Just saying, she's the one I go to. But this subject is really, really dope. First, shout out to Amanda. I see you out there, girl. Thank you for joining. If you were in the Self-Love Challenge, you'll know that I spoke on having a conversation with my dad this weekend. And in that conversation, I had to figure out how to communicate without having a good conversation and not having a confrontation. So I had to figure out how to let him know that I have daddy issues and I get to grow in those issues. And I also want to commit to have open communication if I feel any sort of way, so that we can build a strong relationship that nothing is hidden and I'm not feeling any type of way. Where the healthy boundary comes in is with my mom. I have always been somebody that will go to my mom when I have problems with my dad. And so I really had to say my healthy boundary is that I am only going to allow for God to come in between my dad and our relationship. And I am also going to put on the armor whenever I am with my parents and know that they don't necessarily have the tools to communicate, but I do. And so they get to pour that on me, and I not take that on. And I am just so thankful to be a part of this team. I've been doing this for 3 years. My name is Candy. I'm down 3% body fat, up 20 pounds of healthy weight. I am so thankful to have met Amanda, because now I get to learn how to have communication skills and healthy boundaries within a marriage. And I'm not even married yet. Honey, I know for a fact that on Sundays, just like Amanda, I can stare and look at my husband all day long until sun up into sunrise if I want to, because I put that time away. I learned that from my friends. And who can say that you have friends out there that you're learning from how to be in a good marriage, how to be a good mom, how to be a good stepmom, all those different sort of things. So Amanda, again, I can't wait to get you into this reign, the whole thing, girl, because you are going to love it. You're going to change. And I'm so thankful because I've also put on healthy weight and put some money in my pockets. And I gained a new cousin. Here she is.
Okay. Hi, you guys, or ladies. I'm Calvana, also known as Kels. Candace got me over there hype. I'm like off the camera, like, yeah. When I hear about like communication and healthy boundaries, I was sitting here and thinking about what I would share. And by the way, on my nutrition plan, down 30 pounds. But I thought about my relationship with my mom. When I was younger, like kindergarten, like I knew her phone number at work. And so when I would come home from school at my grandma's house, I would call her and tell her about my whole day. So that's pretty much like how that relationship grew. And then imagine me being like in my first serious like adult relationships, like college relationships and stuff like that, her still being way too involved, but that's the relationship that we had created, and the boundary that wasn't there. And through that like relationship, being able to reflect and be like, dang, like it is my mom. I love her so much. But you know how they tell us like for example, Amanda's married. She can't take advice from me and Candace on being married. You know why? Because me and Candace are married, you know? So with the relationship, like my mom and dad have been married for 30 plus years, but their relationship isn't necessarily the blueprint I want to follow for my relationships. So not necessarily taking on her perception of men, because it's not that great, you know, her perception on what love is and what relationship you should kind of settle for, and letting her know that that communication has to stop, and that I love her opinion, but that's not like, I can't take her, you know, I can't take the information from her and plug that into my relationship if I want it to turn out differently. So, but now lots of years later, she definitely respects it. But that was definitely a period of time where she had to realize I was growing up, and she had to fall back a little bit from relationship stuff. So that's my share. Thanks for listening.
Hi, ladies. My name is Raquel. My story is a little bit different. You know, I am a mother. So for me, my journey has begun self-love for myself, yes, but to be a better version of me for my kids. So I came into this community and this group of women just really seeking to find myself, really find who I was, who did I want to become, what example I wanted to be, and what kind of people I wanted to surround myself with. I came from a very dark industry. I worked in the nightclubs and I did modeling and I did all those things where I was seeking validation and acceptance from people because I wanted to feel complete. But I didn't realize that it was within me to do the work and feel complete as a whole person, right? And, you know, within all that, I met my children's father, and I had 2 beautiful children with 2 different men. And neither one was I married at the time. I ended up marrying my son's father after, but it was never a healthy relationship. So when I chose to walk away from those relationships, I always had this thing where I had a hard time communicating and setting boundaries with those relationships because I wanted to put my pride and ego and hurt aside to make sure that they had their fathers in their lives, but I wanted also to be accepted and respected as their mother. Because when you're not with that person and you're trying to co-parent, it can be difficult. You know, he felt like I was always attacking him, and I felt like he's always attacking me. So our guards were always up. You know, I've experienced 2 different type of co-parenting relationships with my daughter's father. It's healthy, it's beautiful, he's fully involved, I'm grateful for everything he is. And then with my son's father, he's not in the picture. He chose to walk away and not take responsibility, and I had to accept those things. but I had to keep my ground, because the thing with one is we both realized we wanted to put our egos down for our daughter, and we wanted to have a healthier relationship for her sake. And then the other one, it wasn't a healthy relationship. So I had to set the boundaries. I had to set the communication straight for me to be respected, and mostly to seek what's best for my son, you know? And so it really just was something for me that these workshops have helped me achieve, because I've always had a temper and a hard time communicating. And when I feel hurt and I feel in any way mad or sad, I shut down. And so learning to communicate effectively is something that I've struggled with, but it's something that I've become a lot better. It's still a work in progress. I'm still the person that, you know, sometimes anger and sometimes fear and sometimes sadness takes over, but I'm fighting through those things to just become a better version of me and just communicate and have healthier boundaries in my life. Thank you guys for listening to my story.
Absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much, Raquel. You carry that in so much grace. I absolutely love you sharing that piece of your story, because I learned from it. So thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Cass. I'm one of the queen leaders of the group, and I've been a part of this amazing community for about 1.5 years now. My journey started a little bit different. I actually met Amanda about 7 years. I keep saying 7, I don't know why, but 8 years ago. And I was in a space where I was just really lost. You know, I had moved to Arizona a couple years prior. My dad had passed away. I didn't really have a connection to a lot of people, and I was kind of just wandering in Phoenix and just going out every single night, like legit. And that's just not who I am. So I wanted to be surrounded around powerful women, and that's where I, you know, connected and started my nutrition plan, actually. Amanda started hers, and I was like, well, I want to do that. And it wasn't about the nutrition plan. It was about the sisterhood part for me. I actually lost 20 pounds in my first 2 months. I went from a size 13 down to a size 2. I'm not into skinny chicks on my body. Like, this body is not made for skinny. I look like an alien. So I decided to switch it up, put on some healthy weight, and get all of my thickness back. But there's so much more to it than that. This conversation, I'm a little nervous, and I'm not normally, but this conversation hits home so strong for me. This week, communication and relationships and healthy boundaries has popped up. Literally, the conversation I was having with my cousin, who's on this call right now, was about my conversation with another family member. And I even had to go to Jenny in this same convo and say, hey girl, like, did I do something wrong? Did I handle this conversation correctly? And it was really dope to see, like, hey Cash, you actually did the right thing. You were operating out of love, but that person wasn't open to receiving it. And how many times can you say you started a nutrition plan, you're building a side hustle, and you have people around you that can uplift you and speak to these topics? And that's what this sisterhood is about for me, and it's so powerful. With that being said, I have been able to build a side hustle and actually connect in people and build an actual business. I love to travel. I just did a whole backyard renovation this weekend, and that side hustle helps with paying for that. So I want to go ahead and cover what's next for all of you queens, because you've heard a lot of powerful things tonight. And there's different things for each of you, right? You've heard a powerful testimony from each and every queen tonight. And that's one of the first things for us. We want you to invite people into these calls. We have them every single Wednesday, and these topics hit you every single week. There's something for every single person to pick up weekly from these calls. And I want you to challenge yourself and say, who could I invite to this call with me? I guarantee you, I know 3 or 4 people right off bat that could have been on this call. The people that I was having the issues with today, right? They could have been on this call. But seriously though, you can invite your friends, your family, your coworkers, whoever the case may be, to our calls each week. The second thing that we want to do is offer our queen elevation to you. That's just setting aside time one-on-one with the person that invited you to this call, the queen leader that invited you to this call. We really are big about working on your mind, your body, and your soul. We all have weight loss results or weight gain results for some of our queen leaders. We can help you there. We're all on our spiritual journeys. We're all women of God and absolutely grow inside of that. And we're also working on our mindset, because that's the biggest piece. We want to go over that with you. And then lastly, we want to lock arms with you. We're really about building a strong community of women. I call it a girl gang. We got sisterhood. It's all the same to me, right? But it's really about powerful women locking arms with other powerful women. So we want you to invest into our vision and our mission and lock arms with us and help with growing our sisterhood, and also help with growing your own business. You never know what an extra $100 could do for you. What could an extra $500 do for you, right? I was at a grocery store the other day and saw some ground beef was $20. An extra $500 can help you, sis, right? I don't know why prices getting like that, but it can help you. So we really want to invite you into that. So immediately after this call, please let your queen leader know. You know, are you wanting to join our sisterhood? Are you wanting to do your one-on-one queen elevation? Or how many people are you going to invite to our call next week? I challenge you to tell them who you're inviting to the call next week so we can hold you accountable in that. But that's the end of our call tonight. Thank you so much for joining us all. We are beyond grateful. Amanda's going to go ahead and unmute us so we can all say good night, but definitely join us